The online piano and the online violin tutor. Today is the next lesson in the 10 course violin lessons that I've been giving you guys. Today I'm actually going to be talking about some of the notes that you get on the violin and where are they. What I've done is drawn up a very bad looking version of a violin for you. I've put this onto PDF. Now I think I've done a few of these. I've done some with I've done like a basic position, and I've done some, these ones have the advanced positions, and then I think I've done 3 for you actually. One with the basic notes, as in the notes that you'll use nearly all of the time, nearly every day. These are the advanced ones, so there are a few little extra notes that you will see every now and then, but you really do need to know where they are. And a clear one with just the circles in and no notes in at all, so that you can print it out. Maybe you can practice putting in some of the notes. So, I mean, I would say that you could go away and remember this. It would help you, but you do need to be doing it in conjunction with playing the violin. It doesn't just work with necessarily memorising these, because memorising it on paper and memorising it as you're going along and playing it on the violin are sort of 2 completely different things. So if you can learn it in conjunction with reading the music and trying to learn where they are on the violin as well as this, then I really do think it would help. So if you imagine a sort of this being the violin. I'm sorry it's really badly drawn. I'm a musician, not an artist, unfortunately. But if I just go through and explain it to you. So you can print out the clean sheet, and that doesn't have any of the notes written in the letter, so you can write that out to your heart's content. The basic one just doesn't have these red ones here at all with the black letters inside. So this is one I've put in from the advanced sheet. I just crossed out basic, put advanced. It just saved me drawing this all out again. So for the basic one, this is where the first finger goes. So this is where you might have the first dot on your violin, which I have done in some of my videos. 2 places where your second finger goes are either right next door to the first finger or right next door to where the third finger goes. I would explain all this again actually on the violin as well, but I'm just going through the chart that I've written on the paper. I have actually had a quick look on the internet, and I have seen quite a few of these as well, and they do seem very complicated. Some I've seen, I mean, I don't even understand, so if I don't understand it, I don't know how you guys are understanding it. So I've tried to make it as clear as I possibly can for you. So this is where the third finger goes, second finger goes right up behind it. The second finger never goes anywhere near the middle. It's not a note that exists. It either touches the third finger or it touches the first finger. They're the only 2 places. So then you've got the third finger dot, and then you've got a place where the fourth finger goes. Now you can have some notes in between the third and fourth, which I've put in on your advanced sheet, and some notes that go behind the first finger. So I'm just going to take the sheet away for a second, and if you print out the sheet, maybe you can go through that when I'm going through it on the violin for you. Okay, so you will see the 2 dots that I've got on my violin. This is the first finger dot, and this is the third finger dot I've got there. I don't really think you need to put in any more dots, otherwise it just gets a bit kind of a bit dot happy really. You get too many dots and the eye has too much to see, and then when the violin is at an angle here, you can't always see which dot is which, and I mean it's just a nightmare. And I think you only need the first and the third anyway, because remember, the second finger only ever goes next to the first finger, or it only ever goes right next door to the third finger. It never goes anywhere else. So you don't really need a second finger dot. If your first finger's not there, then it would just go right next door to the dot, not covering it, just next door to it. And if the third finger's not there, it would go up to the dot, not touching the dot. So if you followed my other videos, I have gone through some of this before, but I'm now just going to explain this in a little bit more detail. So as you will see, the first finger notes are A, E, B and F sharp, and that will show you that on this chart here. The second fingers for each of these are B flat, And then you've got an F natural, a C natural, and a G. I had to think for a moment there. I'm thinking of so many things on the video. And then the the other second finger, the stretched second finger, is going to give you a B natural, an F sharp, a C sharp, and a G sharp on the E string. Third finger gives you a C, a G, a D, and an A. And then the fourth finger gives you the open string above it. So the fourth finger on the G string gives you a D, this one gives you an A, this one gives you an E, and this one gives you a B. If we did have another string above the E string, that would actually technically be the B string, but we don't. So the notes that you've got in between it are, which are sometimes quite useful, when the first finger is back on the G string for the A flat that you can see in your advanced sheet, then it is going to be back so far that you kind of hit the little knobbly bit at the top, so that you can't sort of go back any further. That is how far your finger needs to go. So here is the dot, my finger is on the dot, and if I was to bring it back, that's how far back it needs to go. So much further back than most students and most people seem to think that it has to go back. So that's where your first finger goes on all of the strings, until you can sort of feel the kind of the nut, or the sort of the knobbly bit, if you want to sort of describe it as, where the strings go a little bit raised and the fingerboard might be a little bit raised as well. Now, the other place is either you can have, I've got here a C sharp, a G sharp, an E flat, and a B flat. So this is the advanced ones here between the third and the fourth finger. Now these can be played with either the third finger or either the fourth finger. Now, I have just put, for the G string, I've put it as a C sharp. Now it could be a D flat, but I've chosen C sharp, which you would play with your third finger. Easy to know because you'd play a normal C with your third finger, so C sharp insinuates that you would keep it with the third finger. It just makes more sense when you're playing the violin rather than playing it with a fourth finger. So it's nice to sort of keep it all together, if you like. We don't really play D flat that often, but we do play C sharp quite often. So that's why I've put that as a more commonly known as C sharp. Otherwise it just gets confusing, as I mentioned before on those other charts that you see on Google. It's really confusing. I don't think you really need to know about that sort of part of it yet. And by the time you do get to the stage where you'll be doing D flats and things, then you won't need any of this sort of stuff anyway. So again, on the D string, I've written the note sort of in between the third and fourth as a G sharp. So because you play G on the dot with your third finger, you're just going to stretch it a little bit and play the G sharp with your third finger as well. So it just keeps it the same. That is also known as an A flat, but I would have thought you'd get more G sharps than you would A flats. So I've written that as a G sharp as well, but it would be an A flat. The next one is an E flat. Now, because you play a fourth finger E, same as with the open string with your fourth finger, you would bring your fourth finger back. So that's going to go in between the third and where the fourth finger would normally go. So the fourth finger goes back in between the normal place for the third and fourth. So that would also be called a D sharp. But again, I don't think you're going to hit D sharps that often. I think you're going to hit more E flats. So therefore I've written it again as an E flat. I've done the same thing on the E string. I think you'd see it more as a B flat, not really as an A sharp. So it would be an A sharp, technically, where you stretch your third finger there, that goes in between the third and the fourth, where the third and the fourth would normally go. But I think you would see it as a B flat. So if your third finger was there, your fourth finger is sort of a good gap away, then you would just drag your fourth finger so it's touching the third finger, and that's where it needs to go. And again, I think you would see that as a B flat more as an A sharp. That's why I've kept it as a B flat. So I hope that helps you guys for this lesson. It really is just a case of just practice, practice, practice. Some of you guys might find it easy to look at that chart. You can print out the 3 versions and do whatever you like with them. As I said, there's a clean one in there so you can put the letters in yourself. and have a go. But it just sort of, I just thought that might be a good way of helping you guys to know where you've got the fingering. You should know where the main ones are, 1, 2 and 3 and probably 4 are now, because I have gone through each of those in some of my lessons, 5, 6 and I don't know, whatever it is that I've gone through. But if you're trying to sort of do a little bit more advanced music and you're coming across an E flat, you might not know where E flat is, for example. So now you can refer to this and have a look where your E flat is, and hopefully that should help you a bit more. So thanks very much for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comment bar underneath and I will try my best to explain and try and get back to you as quickly as possible. Please just be patient if I don't get back to you straight away, so I do get a lot of comments and I try and respond to every single person that does leave a comment, so just be patient, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Please subscribe to my channel and spread the word if you really like these videos, and I'll catch you all next time.